Birdsong. How are you?
Hi, Lee.
Oh my God, it's so good to see you. I'm so touched for words.
We could have used you up there. Fourth part harmony would have been great.
I know. You got to sing a little bit for me. I mean, like, one of my favorite Supreme songs was, Up the ladder to the roof, where we can see heaven much better. Wow. Up the ladder to the roof, where we can be.
Where we can be.
Where we can be closer to heaven. Oh, I sang with the Supreme. Clap, clap. And to you as well. God, really, it must have been a heavy day. I mean, a heavy career you've had, spanning over, God, so many years. You started with the great Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells.
That's right.
I mean, that was like the early doo-wop era, wasn't it?
We were doo-wop girls, yes. That's what they called us in those days.
And then you, go on.
Working the Chitlin circuit, it was fun though. It was a ball. I wouldn't give it up for anything, my past experiences.
And then all of a sudden you had the Chitlin circuit, and then you went from Chitlin into the Supremes. I mean, tell us about that. How was the transition? Why did they call you first of all? That's after Florence.
I met the Supremes on a rock and roll show during the Chitlin circuit days.
I like that Chitlin.
Yes. And we were on the same show before they became a household word, and became friends with them. And eventually, I think my friendship with them was the reason why I became a member of the Supremes later.
How did you feel like taking over from Florence, who'd like been there from the very beginning?
It was kind of weird for me because Florence was my favorite Supreme. I mean, we always joked about with each other about us having similarities. Everybody said I always looked like Florence, and that we had a lot of movements alike on stage, and that we just looked alike in general. And actually, we were a lot of like. We wore the same size shoe, same size dress, same style wigs. And
you lot wore a lot of them then. I mean, we got some pictures as well, I think we're going to see.
Is that right?
Yeah, you had like with the wigs and all that. We're going to see them now, I think. There's like some shots of you lot.
Oh, yes.
Look at you, the glamour girl.
Oh, I remember those
all
days.
those sequins.
Look at those waistlines.
Look at those wigs. Good. Oh.
Yes.
Gosh, Diana has a bust there. Oh, gosh. She doesn't have that now, does she?
Maybe not.
Was it wire padding
But
or something?
we had ways of getting around those kind of things in those days.
Instant food. Instant food.
Yes.
It must have been a really, like, a lot of people talk about Diana and the cattiness, the bitchiness, the years on the road and stuff, and Mary of recent with her book. What can you tell us that, a little bit of your side, what you saw, what people don't really know about the Supremes?
Gee whiz, I saw it all, and actually my perception of the whole time, Supreme years, is not as negative as a lot of things that may be in the book, because I think I came in at a later date. My roots probably weren't so deeply embedded in the group, so maybe I saw the glossy rather than the negative side. But I really refuse to look at the book as Diana's comeuppance, as a lot of people seem to think it is. And everywhere I go, people say, what is Diana really like? Actually, I use that B word, which I don't want to say. Is she really, but I really think Diana's a wonderful person.
You lot were groomed and everything, like, I mean, tell us about that, the Motown training school. Like, we heard the Four Tops and the Temptations and all these kind of people. Like, today, you don't have that in record companies, where the record company says, well, you got to look smart, your hair, your movements. Tell us about that.
I know. We were all groomed to look a certain way, to have a certain image. And our thing was the glamour image. And we had the bouffant wigs and the 4 pairs of eyelashes, the big jeweled heavy earrings and the 35-pound gowns.
Oh, God.
But it was great because we had our own unique style. And we sort of set our own trend during those days. And a lot of girls followed suit afterwards.
We had the 3 degrees that were very similar.
Yes, very similar.
Stuff. Did you have any pressure, regrets? I mean, like, I read someplace about, you being kidnapped and stuff.
That was a horrific experience.
Tell us.
Well, this weird guy who happened to live in my building, well, actually, he didn't live there. He was a maintenance guy there, and he'd been working there 2 weeks. I didn't know who he was, and he had keys to all the apartments, and he came into my apartment and was waiting for me one day after rehearsal when I got home, and at knife point took me out of the apartment.
Fatal attraction.
Onto the freeway, a real weirdo. I hope I never see him again. But it was a really horrific experience, and I hate to recall because it made me very paranoid to go in rooms alone for many months afterwards.
God, that must have been
I
something
jumped out of the
else.
car, by the way, on the freeway.
You jumped out. You did your own
to
stunts, huh?
I did my own stunt, and I have bruises to prove it to.
Cool. Did you make a lot of money in those days? I mean, a lot of acts said, well, they didn't from Motown.
We made quite a bit of money. We were a highly paid act. And we played all the big places, the big rooms, Las Vegas, the Waldorf Astoria, the Copacabana. And around the world, we performed before royalty, and we got paid very well for what we did. And it was, you know, a fluent career.
Now you're back after like a 9-year break, and you're singing again. Tell us about Cindy Birdsong. We don't want to hear about the Supremes. Let's hear about you, Cindy.
Well, I'm back on the scene with the record machine saying, ooh, Papa do, and how do you do?
All right, go for it.
Well, okay, that's one of my favorite disc jockeys' little sayings. But yes, I have a record out. It's called Dancing Room, and it's a pop record. It's nothing like the Supremes. It's my own identity, my own sound.
Do you like, talking about sounds, do you like reggae music?
I like reggae music.
Reggae music?
Very much, yes.
Good, because we have someone, I think, that's in the club tonight called Freddie McGregor.
And he's fabulous, too.
Have you heard his
yes,
voice?
of course.
Great, very good. Well, you're into some culture. What's happening,
Hi,
Freddie?
Freddie.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
How you doing? Great. Jacques, any drinks for our guest here this evening? Where is Jacques?
That's
you know.
right.
Why are you in England, man? I mean, God, you should be in Jamaica, sunning it all up like the rest of us.
It's too hot,
God, we have one thing in common. A lot of people don't know, and this is a first. My middle name is McGregor.
Here we go.
Seriously, I got a Scottish blood in me as well.
Part of the clan, isn't it?
Part of the clan, the Scottish clan and stuff. But you have a really, really long background. Like Cindy started from like the early 60s and stuff. So did you, but in a different equivalent in Jamaica.
Yes.